In this lesson, we're going to take a look at solving compound inequalities that have the word or in them, and compound inequalities with the word or in them are called disjunctions. And I have one example here that we're going to take a look at. It's this one here. We want to solve, I don't really want to see that part, but it's showing up. There we go. So we have negative 2 is greater than or equal to x plus 3 union 2x minus 1 greater than 5. This little symbol right here just means or. So I have it written a little different here, not much. All I've done is I've changed the union symbol to the word or. So if you ever see that symbol, that just means or. Now, notice I say solve this inequality, so we have to break it into two. Well, in this one, I look at it and go, this one's a lot nicer because it's already broken into two inequalities for us. Unlike the and, we don't have that one here. We have the or. So remember with the and, we had to actually pull it apart into two pieces. Here, those two pieces are already there. So I just go through and I solve my two inequalities. So I'm going to start with this one on the left. And in this case, I'm going to have to subtract 3 from both sides. And now I have x, and reading backwards, it would say less than or equal to negative 5. Now, I do like to have it written the other way, so I'm going to rewrite it or just flip it. So I have x is less than or equal to negative 5. And then in my other one, I have to solve this one. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. And now I have 2x is greater than 6. And then I will divide both sides by 2. And I have x is greater than 3. Now remember, this was an or a union of. And I'm going to write that into set builder notation as well. So if I do this in set builder notation, there we go. Put my x, such that, and then we just write those two inequalities. X is less than or equal to negative 5. And then put your word or here, or, and then x is greater than 3. Now, we could do the exact same thing with this, but instead of actually using the word or, we could use the little math symbol, the union symbol. Make this go down a little bit. So if I get rid of this part, I could also write it with the union symbol. So either one would be acceptable to write that into set builder notation. Now, my next slide, now I just want to graph the solution set to my compound inequality. That's the exact same one that we had on the previous slide. Here it is when I took the union symbol out and put the word or. We've already solved it, so I have that written here. Either way. So now we just have to graph it. And we just have to graph those two little pieces. So I'm going to start with x is less than or equal to negative 5. So remember, I start at negative 5. Since we have the equals to part, I'm going to shade that circle in. And then less than, well, that's all the numbers less or to the left. So everything out there. And then we also have x is greater than 3. So now I come to 3. I do not have the equal to, so I leave it open. All the numbers greater than 3. Well, those are all the numbers out here. Now, being it's an or statement, we can have a solution that's less than or equal to negative 5, negative 6, negative 20, negative 100. All of those numbers are less than negative 6 or negative 5. They will satisfy that inequality because we only have to satisfy one of the parts. But then we also come over here, and any number that's greater than 3, 4, 5, 1 billion, if we put that into our inequality here or here, it's going to satisfy one of them. But remember, it only has to satisfy one because we have an or statement. So there's what our solution set's going to look like in graphed mode. That's the only thing that I'm going to talk about in this little video on solving compound inequalities dealing with or, in other words, disjunctions.